Okay, if you watched last week's playoff prediction video, I might have gotten a couple things wrong, especially every Sunday game. So today I'm here to re-predict things. So what's probably going to happen is I'm going to get Saturday right and Sunday wrong. Hopefully I do the reverse because of the people I'm going to pick and where I'm going to pick them. So, if you just want to take a second to like, comment, subscribe, that'd be super cool. Tell me your predictions down below and maybe where we disagree on things. So, starting out with Buffalo versus Broncos. So, in my previous video, I predicted that the Jaguars would beat the Bills and then immediately lose. And I alluded to the fact that I wasn't too sure about that game. And if Buffalo ended up winning in Jacksonville, they might have a chance to get to the Super Bowl. No shit. But in Buffalo versus Denver, I think Buffalo's defense can do enough against the Broncos' offense to keep the game a little low scoring for them. And I think the Bills could pull away with it offensively. Like, Denver has one of the best defenses we've seen in a long time. But I think, even though it's not at high mark, I think Josh Allen can pull out a win here. So I'm going to give it to Buffalo for the first game of the divisional round. Next up, we have the 49ers versus the Seahawks. I'm going to take the Seahawks here. I just think they might be the best team in the NFL right now. They barely lost to the 49ers in, week 1? Because of some less than great corner play. And that corner has been a lot better in previous years and is a lot better now this year than they were week 1 and 2 and 3. So we've seen improvement on the defense, which was already great, versus a 49ers team that has been getting injured. So I think without George Kittle being on the field, there's a chance Seattle takes this handedly. It might look a lot like that Texans-Steelers game in score, but not in spirit. I think there's a chance that the Sam Darnold of this year is different from the Sam Darnold of the past. He's gotten a little playoff experience. In general, just games under the spotlight, and I think that will help him a lot to gain confidence and be able to do something. So I think Seattle handedly takes care of the 49ers. Then, next up, we have to have the AFC games earlier in the day because, one could say, yeah, they're smaller market teams because they are. And on the other hand, they're a lot less interesting because next we have the Texans versus the Patriots. I think the Texans' offense might be able to do enough against the Patriots, but I think the big page turner here is the fact that the Chargers were able to keep the Patriots at a low score. And the Texans' offensive line is bad. It's better than the Chargers' offensive line. And last week when I was talking about this matchup, I kind of forgot about how bad the Chargers' O-line was, especially when later on I had it as Broncos-Texans in the conference championship, and I gave it to the Broncos because they have a better offensive line. That was a little messed up of me because the Chargers' offensive line is so bad. I should have foreseen the Patriots winning that game. The Patriots, again, do have a better O-line here, but, when you have, 4 atomic bombs as your defensive line, it's kind of just scary for any O-line, and Drake May's kind of taken a lot of sacks this year, so I could see that being a massive issue for the Patriots, and C.J. Stroud getting a lot of good field position. It's just on him to capitalize on that, because I think the Texans will get a lot of sacks and hold the Patriots down and score. I don't remember the last time the Patriots blew someone out this year, and the Texans have had days where their offense does look good. Because all the Patriots conversation is around Drake May and how he has taken a massive leap this year, it is easy to forget that the Patriots defense isn't bad by any means. It's just kind of, does CJ Stroud have poop in his brain like last week? Or does he play like rookie CJ Stroud? If he could play like rookie CJ Stroud, This might be a Super Bowl team. I don't see that happening, but I think the Texans somehow squeak it out. So we're going Texans-Bills in the AFC Conference Championship game. Next up, the LA Rams are traveling to my Chicago Bears at Soldier Field, baby. Should be a cold one this week, like 16 degrees. Last time I checked, it might be different. I can't remember what it's supposed to be, but, the Rams in cold temperatures, not something they're used to. This wouldn't be as big of a disparity from their average winter temperature to Chicago's average winter temperature if they stayed in St. Louis. But who am I to say that St. Louis should have a team? I don't know why that's an issue for me. Anyways, yes, the Rams are a great team. And earlier in the season, I would have said they're the most complete team. But over the past month and a half, they have not looked like they looked in the first half of the year. Their schedule hasn't been all that crazy this year outside of divisional matchups. So, playing against playoff teams, how well are they going to do? They almost got sauced by Bryce Young. Bryce Young almost slimed out Matthew Stafford. You can note that down, quote me, I don't care. I think Caleb Williams and the entire Bears scheme is a lot better than the Panthers scheme. So I think the Bears might get 40 on the Rams. If they can play 4 quarters, it might be 120. And that might be what this game comes down to, is if Chicago can get going early in the game. If they can, I think it's easily Chicago. But if the Rams are able to hold them back for a while, they could possibly make a mountain that is insurmountable. I know Alex Smith said LA might hang 50 on them. If LA can get 50 on the Bears might score 60. It's just the way the Bears have been this year. That offense is diabolical. The Rams secondary is the worst part of their defense. So at that point, you're trusting Caleb Williams, who has been throwing honestly better in the cold than in warm weather. You're giving him the ball when it's sub-freezing temperatures, no dome. You're giving him the ball in his hands to make something happen when you have a weak secondary. Chicago's offense is super scary here. And if Matthew Stafford is having problems throwing in the cold and in the wind, Chicago's secondary, although beat up and injured, might come out to play. Because we'll have C.J. Gardner-Johnson back. We have Jalen Johnson, who's been getting better every week. Kyler Gordon might be better than he was last week. And I know they kept targeting him because they knew he was injured. He only had a few really bad plays. But overall, he was doing a decent job. It's just my assumption that he would be playing even better given another week to recover. This could turn into a game where the kickers are super important. I don't know how well Harold Mevis does. That's his name, right? The Rams kicker. I don't know how well he does in the cold, because the last game that could probably be considered a cold game for the Rams would probably be December 18th versus the Seahawks in overtime, where he was pretty good. But cold in Seattle December is not the same as Chicago in January. Okay? Soldier Field, super windy, super fucking cold. I could easily see it being a moment where Cairo Santos has to step up and kick the ball through the poles. And mostly it's because of the weather. Matthew Stafford has a losing record in cold games, like in sub-freezing temperatures. Sean McVay, losing record in sub-freezing temperatures. Maybe they pull this one out over us. I do think the Rams have a better defense and a more consistent offense. Consistency doesn't necessarily mean better, but it's just the fact that they will march you down the field, where the Bears they're going to gash you out for a couple quarters and win that way, usually at the end of the game. I think the Bears get one more lucky game, or it's a statement win. I think the Bears take this one. Not just my bias, I just think the Bears take it. I'll go ahead and give you my conference championship predictions and my Super Bowl predictions. So we had Buffalo and Houston. We'll go AFC first. Houston and Buffalo, I'm going to give it to the Bills. I just think they'll be able to hang more points on them, even though they're going to Houston. It's going to be really weird that Josh Allen doesn't play a single playoff game in Buffalo. That's weird. But yeah, I think this is the year Josh Allen finally makes it to the Super Bowl. Whether he wins or not, that's to be seen, but I think this is the year Josh Allen makes it. And my prediction for the NFC Championship game is Seahawks-Bears. No matter what way you cut it, this will probably be one of, if not the most exciting game in the entirety of this year's playoff picture. But it will probably be contained to one half. The Seahawks are a very play one half a game kind of team, and the Bears are play a half or a quarter of a game. So we'll see some crazy scoring, and then no scoring, and then crazy scoring probably. If the Seahawks come out to an early lead, I think the Bears could take it. You know, a late game win by Caleb Williams again. The identity of the team is to come from behind. I hate it. It hurts, but I love it. It's beautiful. But if the Seahawks are playing the second half of the game and not the first, that's where I think the Seahawks win this game. And I think the Seahawks, don't get me wrong, if you're a Seahawks fan, I'm not saying the Bears are necessarily a better team. I'm a Bears fan. I'm not going to say that. I think the Seahawks might be the most complete team in the NFL. That defense is crazy, and when the offense is clicking, it is great. They're getting their run game started. Maybe it's lost some steam because they've had that bye. Whereas the Bears have kind of lost their run game, and it's in Seattle. So, you know, it's a little tough. My heart wants to give it to Chicago, but I know if the matchup is Seahawks-Bears, I'm going to give it to Seattle. Making the Super Bowl prediction here, Seattle and Buffalo in Santa Clara next to a power plant that's probably crippling the 49ers the past couple of years. And, you know, any Seahawks fans out there, I'm sorry, but, you know, I might as well give it to Buffalo. They still haven't won a Super Bowl, and they've been to so many, you know. Let's make this the time it actually happens. Give Josh Allen a Super Bowl. Let him have some fun, you know. Just give it to Buffalo at this point. Of course, I don't condone making bets on my predictions or anything. I'm not that smart. Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bear down.